The entire Lebanese government has stood down following last Tuesday's catastrophic explosion in Beirut. The Prime Minister said it was the result of endemic corruption, which is bigger than the state itself. Angry protests have continued at the government's handling of the crisis as the country faces economic collapse and food shortages. Well, our Middle East correspondent Quentin Sommerville is in Beirut for us this evening. And Quentin, people were celebrating the demise of the government, but nonetheless you've been talking to people with nothing to celebrate who've lost everything.
Well, Fiona, some Lebanese would joke that they can't tell the difference between when they have a government and when they don't have a government. The state is so absent from people's lives here. But protesters were celebrating tonight, but they see this only the beginning of a long process. They want the Speaker of the Parliament to go and they want the President to leave too. My report contains images which some viewers may find disturbing. Inch by inch, Lebanon is falling apart. They knew their government was finished, but still they want more. Even among the tear gas, these protesters can almost smell the government's downfall. But they've brought down governments before and there's been little change here. A reshuffling of the same old faces at the top isn't going to solve Lebanon's crisis. When the end came, there were cheers and riot police. The Prime Minister gave his resignation to the President, but his government remains until a new one can be found. The state is out in force in a shattered capital, carrying guns though, not brooms. The Lebanese are famous for their determination, but people here are sick of being left to fend for themselves.
Nobody else but the youth is going to help here, and like as you see, you can see some people from the government here, and they just sit and do nothing.
It's not fixing. Like, we do revolution, it doesn't help. We become more aggressive, it won't help either. So it's like, so what can we do other than clean at the moment?
Some bonds in Beirut remain unbroken. Naji Massoud lived in this Beirut flat for 70 years, just 2 blocks from the port. He and his wife were here during the explosion.
This is our kitchen.
Most of their doors and windows are gone. Is it time to leave, I ask?
No. I stay with the tent here.
Jumeirah is a tight neighbourhood. A dozen people died on this one corner, and everybody here knows exactly where their neighbours were when the blast hit. But some are in no position to help. Their wounds are too raw. Romy Zarkour Loré was in her car on the highway by the port. She and her husband filmed the fire before the explosion.
When we arrived to the Hotel J hospital, it was like a movie. I had more chance than others because I saw that people on the road, people lost their eyes.
Today she's having plastic surgery. Dr. Joe Baroud is offering his services to the wounded for free.
It's my guts telling me that if you can at least offer some kind of your expertise to help the people, because if I'm gonna go and walk on the street in 5 months and see people with bad scars on their face, I'm gonna feel directly responsible for it.
And tonight, tear gas and fireworks as Lebanon slips further into the void. This disaster brought the Lebanese people together. But it's also tearing their country apart.
So, Quentin, the government has gone. What difference is that likely to make to the crisis in Lebanon?
Very little difference, Fiona. The Lebanese people want to live in a country where their life savings aren't wiped out by a financial and economic crisis, where their jobs, their education and their healthcare doesn't depend on sectarian and political patronage. Here in Beirut, they want to live in a city where there's 24-hour power, clean water, where the traffic lights work, where the rubbish gets collected. None of that happens, but most of all they want answers to what happened here. Who was responsible for this disaster? Why government after government ignored warnings saying it was a bad idea to keep many thousands of tons of high explosive chemicals right in the heart of the city. But the Lebanese don't expect that they will get answers to those questions because they have no faith in their institutions, and they realise that change happens here very, very slowly.
Quentin in Beirut, thank you.